Hello and welcome to the show. We have a great show for you today. So as always, sit back and relax and again, take a minute or two, get that pen and paper out so you can jot down things that you hear here at Pitt Community College Outreach. This is, how would we say it, a very, very informative show. There's a lot of things going on at Pitt Community College and we want to make sure that you know about these things that are going on. So with that, we want to welcome in the studio. I have a guest in the studio. Some of you have seen her on the. She's been on the show before, and of course she's out and about in the community working with the youth. So we want to welcome Miss Sunyoung Razor. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Okay, first of all, tell us a little bit about Sunyoung Razor and what she does with Pitt Community College.
Well, I am one of three of the next gen operators here at Pitt Community College with the WIOA program, which is the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. And what we do is we work with youth ages 16 to 25, and we help them with career placement, educational placement, and pretty much just anything related to vocational career and educational goals.
Now, when you say next gen program, I guess kind of explain to us a little bit what is this? What are we talking about? So when people hear this term, they know.
Well, prior to being called Next Gen, we were the Youth at Work program. So if you're familiar with the Youth at Work program, it's pretty much the same thing. We just revamped it a little bit.
Hmm.
And the purpose of the Next Gen program is to take those youth in those age groups and pretty much work with them and figure out what it is that they want to do with themselves as far as their careers and education and training, and pretty much just help them get on the road that they want to be on.
Okay, now when you talk about what ages do you work with, so we can make sure we got that out there.
The youngest you can be is 16,
Hmm.
and the oldest is 25.
Okay, now how do you determine who's qualified for your program?
In order to be eligible for our program, you have to meet specific qualifications, which if you come in and see us, we'll screen you. But you basically have to have a barrier to education and employment. So those are youth who may be basic skill deficient in reading or math, high school dropouts, parenting youth, uh, youth with criminal history, foster care youth. Pretty much, if you have anything that prevents you from going to school or
Hmm.
going to work on your own, if you have any type of barrier that prevents you from doing that, you're probably eligible, or you should at least come see us.
Okay, how about a student say graduated from high school 2 years ago and they really don't have a lot of resources, but they're just out there, they're not working, they're not doing anything. Are there a person that might be interested in looking you up?
Those are definitely people that we would like to see because we focus a lot on career exploration. And a lot of youth may graduate high school, and once they get their diploma, they don't know what they want to do next or where they want to go or what even interests them. So, by coming to see us, we can do a career assessment on them, help them determine what their interests are, possibly give them put them in short term training or uh, work experience just to help them figure out what they want to do.
Okay, I guess I'm trying to make sure that when the audience hear you talk about the barriers that a lot of the students have, okay, and these are, and you have those who may have not graduated from high school
Right.
for whatever reason. They need to go back to school, and that's uh, we call those out of school youth. We'll call those right now, and those that have actually graduated from high school and they still kind of in a zone, as I would say it. But both groups of students should be seeking you out.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, I guess I will say this. What if now we talked about possibly high school dropouts for any reason that they did not finish high school could be eligible. We talked about those who have graduated and still have some barriers would be eligible. How about students that are actually still in school?
The students that are still in school, we also provide services for them. For example, if you're in high school and you come into our program, we do things like help you with your SAT or ACT as far as covering the cost. We can provide tutoring and instruction services if you're um, failing or below average in certain classes. We also help with college applications, financial aid applications, and pretty much by the time you graduate, you would still be with us, and we would pretty much help you decide if you're going into the workforce or if you're going to pursue post-secondary education.
Okay, and working with the youth, I guess I would ask two things. Let's talk about first jobs. And then we'll back up just a little bit. But let's talk about jobs now. Do you have what you call work experience and OJT? Tell us a little bit about work experience and OJT, and then we'll try to work in what are the similarities or how do we tie those in together.
Well, with our work experience, the first thing we do is we do a career assessment. And the purpose of the career assessment is to determine what your goals are, what it is that you're good at, what are your strengths, in order to place you at a work site that best suits your goals and your skills and abilities. Once we place you in that work site, we can allow you to work up to 720 hours, 720 hours to get experience in that particular field, so that you'll have information and you'll have experience to actually put on your resume, so that when you go out to find a full-time job or another job, you'll actually have work experience in your field, in your interest, where you can tell an employer, I've done this before and I've worked in this place before.
Okay, now, if you place a person on a job and they're working, I guess, what are we talking about when we're talking about the most important thing that they're going to be looking for is a paycheck or whatever? How does that work, and what kind of wages are being paid?
Well, with our new work experience policy, the way it's set up now is our wages are comparative to what those wages are for that particular job. For example, if I place a youth in a position and the salary, the hourly rate for that position is $10 an hour, then they're going to make that $10 an hour. If it's $13 an hour, they'll make the 13. What we do now is we get a clear job description and we base the salary on what that company would pay a normal employee.
And I think I guess I want to clear this up too. The company actually doesn't pay the salary.
No, we pay for work experience. We pay 100% of the hourly wage for that
program pays. So if the people get qualified for the program, they're able to get into job experience. Then, if the company hires them to work 20 hours a week, I think is an average. Your company actually you cover the salary.
100%.
So that 100% of the salary to work experience. Now, let's do a quick crossover or cross into OJT. Okay, what is the OJT component? What does OJT stand for?
OJT is on the job training. And what we do with OJT is we do a skills analysis of your qualifications to match you with a job. And with OJT, the employer actually hires you, but it's seen as a training program. So while they hire you, we pay a percentage of that wage to get you through that training. And then at the end of the training, then we'll conclude our contract, but you'll have a permanent full-time job.
Okay. Now, since we're kind of in the middle of this, let's go back again. How would a person contact you to get into the program?
I'm located at Pitt Community College at the Continuing Education Building.
And we're also running your information, of course, across the screen also. So.
And I can also be reached by phone. And my office number is 493-7853.
Now, if they call this number and let's say if they call and they've gotten a high school diploma, and let's say they went to college for a semester, is that someone that you might need to talk to? I'm just kind of putting the scenarios out there because I know that you guys work with so many different types of students on all levels, and I know the objective is to make sure that the student advances from where they are.
That would definitely be the type of person that we would want to see. we have a lot of instances where a youth may graduate from high school and go off to college or take college classes, but it's not it's not in an area that they were interested in, or they just didn't succeed, or they didn't have enough resources, or the skills needed to actually finish. So then they can come back and see us, and we can help them either redirect them to go back to school or to choose another path. If not a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree, then maybe a short-term certification, maybe a credential, just something to put up under their belt to make them more employable.
Now, I want to kind of, if you qualify for the program, and I want to make sure that we kind of get these small points out, which is some of the big ones, and that is when you talk about a credential, not only are we talking about possibly the 2-year programs, because you have a list of those that the federal government say that we can pay for.
Right.
But short-term training, pretty much, if there's a credential behind that, you can kind of take care of almost any short-term training. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes, and we have a wide range of short-term certifications. Of course, there's the CRC, the Career Readiness Certificate, and then there's the nursing assistant, the phlebotomy, EMT, welding, forklift. We have a lot of different.
Now, I know there's a few that I would like to make sure that we mention here, because we started some new stuff. Like you said, you mentioned the welding certificate program. I think there's the electrical certificate program, and I believe there's the HVAC certificate program, and something else that we're looking at. I know we're looking at the masonry program to start that, and we're looking at a butchery meat cutting program. But these are just some of the programs that they have. EMT, I believe that would be, as you mentioned, phlebotomy and nursing assistant and all of that. All of that will fall under your guideline as far as helping to pay for a youth that qualifies for your program.
Right.
Okay, so they just need, it sounds like they just need to come ready.
Yes, and there are 3 of us available. There are 3 career advisors, so we have more than enough room to accommodate our youth.
Now, say someone is watching the show right now, and they're from another county, and they're asking now, I got a nephew, I got a niece, or somebody that needs that program, and they're from another county. Could they contact PIC, or how does PIC work as far as this particular program?
Well, Next Gen WIA program runs in pretty much all the counties. So if someone in another county that is not a resident of Pitt County, if they were interested in the program, then if they can't locate their WIA provider in their county, if they contact us, then I would be happy to direct them to which county they would need to talk to.
Okay, so all the surrounding counties should have the Next Gen program in their county, and they just need to know how to find the operator. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Real quick, I need you to cap for us the WIA program, what it does, and how to reach you to get into the program. And I'm gonna have you sum this up in about a minute. Okay.
The WIOA program, we service youth ages 16 to 25. We help in an array of different things as far as providing work experience, on-the-job training, post-secondary education, high school completion, and tutoring, instruction, entrepreneurship, financial counseling, regular counseling, pretty much anything that an individual needs to get from point A to point B in terms of career and education. We try our best to provide it. Anyone that comes into our program, our end result for that person is when they exit our program, we want you to have a degree, we want you to have your diploma, and we want you to have a real job that's going to make you able to take care of yourself and your family. We want everyone to be self-sufficient, and that's the goal. Okay,
now how would they get up with you again?
And I am located at the Pitt Community College Continuing Education Center, and my phone number in the office is 493-7853, and I can be reached by cell phone as well at 531-2196.
Ms. Razor, thank you for coming by, sharing all this great information with us. And for those of you who are listening, the location is 3107 South Memorial Drive. Also, so stop by and ask for the Next Gen program, Youth at Work. Still, if you have to ask for that, or a program to help the youth. How about that? And then we have the adjacent program that goes from 25 up. So we still have that program. You can get information on that program. But Ms. Razor, thanks again for coming by with all the information, and we hope to see you back here soon. And with that, we want to say thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for sharing all the great information about Pitt Community College. And we'll see you next week with a brand new show.